People's choices are often driven by fantasy. This, once again, kind of is counterintuitive because a lot of the branding and marketing says it needs to be more realistic so they can relate to it. Why do unconscious fantasies dominate decision making? And really, how can brands identify and tap into these?
So the fantasy is really something, again, that's unconscious. We're not even aware that we have these fantasies. But what I've typically seen in business, marketing, advertising is that we think that we need to create reality for consumers, that consumers want to see people like themselves. They want to see situations like their own homes. It's not true at all. Everybody wants that which is better. Everybody wants the ideal, the fantasy. I mean, think about your last Thanksgiving dinner. The memory of the turkey is not the half-eaten carcass sitting there on the plate and the dog, lapping up the bones. It's the big platter coming out with that beautiful golden shape, and like we store memories as fantasy in their ideal state. We don't store our memories in a reality kind of approach. So what that means is that if I know that people really wish for the fantasy, for the ideal, if I'm creating a brand or brand messaging or brand campaign or even branding, what I want to do is create a match between the consumer's fantasy and the brand. When I do that, the consumer is going to be totally drawn to it because it reflects their inner fantasy. And so I would say in everything that you do, always try to go for that ideal, not the reality. A great example of a brand that's done this really well is Modelo. Modelo has come out and it's created all this wonderful branding. First of all, they always show a glass bottle in their advertising with this beautiful golden seal. They have the beautiful crest with golden cursive lions and very emblematic and almost like a seal of quality. They have all these incredible premium cues. That's what has enabled Modelo to really overtake some of the biggest brands in the beer category. I mean, the entire beer category is declining, and Modelo has double-digit growth. How is it doing that? It's doing that by representing the fantasy of beer and the fantasy stories about people who have achieved the fighting spirit, all of these good things, and really overtaking the brands that have been probably approaching it with more of a reality kind of lens.
Great example, because you're right. Our unconscious minds are naturally drawn to those idealized versions of reality, whether it's the perfect morning, peak performance, maybe a dream home. But brands can identify these fantasies by studying, right, their audience's aspirations and aligning their message to evoke those ideals.